Brace yourself, boaters, because this is about to get intense. We'll be making an escape route, and that is going to mean the difference between life and death. So stay tuned and see how this thing's going to get built.
I never thought I would say something like this, but shall I be pessimistic for a minute? Picture this. I'm happily cooking a meal and then suddenly something distracts me badly, like a whale jumping or something. And for some reason, I catch our galley on fire. We do have fire extinguishers, but let's ignore them for now and just think of the worst scenario possible. Ben tries to blow the fire out and it only gets worse. As our galley is next to the entrance, escaping through our normal door gets dangerous, so we need a plan B. We run to our bedroom, open our escape hatch, and we are out of the fire, safe and sound. The end.
So we have had these little, big bronze locks custom made so that this will tighten the window onto the boat with a piece of rubber in between. We don't know, you're gonna see, but we're gonna try and make these and the other one an escape hatch. And then I'll have MP leave through it as a test.
Hey.
Yeah. Quickly explain what's happened here. You can see that this is the fixed window. This part has been halved, as half of this is inside the wall and half of it, this one, is on the wall. So whenever we loosen whatever we're going to use to tighten this bit can be pushed outwards and this stays. If this stayed in one piece, it would have always kept getting caught on that.
Посолта, por favor. Fizemos um encaixezinho por aí, né? Na parede. Ficou aberto, né? Já ficou com volume para agora?
This one is now in place and I am super happy how well this has worked. We didn't want to put we had to put the hinges on the outside. However, we didn't want anyone to just be able to undo some screws and open this window. So we've managed to put this hinges in between the wood and the wall. Also, these top screws work amazingly, really easy to tighten them and also squish the rubber seal. One window done, we're going to move over to the next.
We'll have a new cameraman. for today, which is Apache.
I am Ronald, nickname Apache. I welding. I like punk rock. I have a band punk rock. I saw cameraman, make little works in Yabá.
Nice.
Acho que é isso. I try, but I welding.
A filming welder.
Fiz o que eu pude.
So the next step is to take it all apart again, because that's so fun, undoing stuff, and then making sure all the little seams are either covered in a varnish or a Sikaflex or a epoxy paint. The first two steps are making sure what's between the new piece of wood and the main window is Sikaflex shut so no water gets in. And then the second step is going to be painting whatever's left with some epoxy based paint to protect the wood and it doesn't get humid and it doesn't rot. Let's go! If you're curious to see if this actually works and you want to see us actually try and escape, hang in there because we will do it soon. Soon. No, not yet. In this episode and the latest episodes, you might have seen that we are using different types of drills. In the past, you saw we were using lots of the yellow DeWalt ones, and now as we're in the interior, you can see we're using lots of the greenish blue Makita ones. The only and main difference, I'm going to call two differences, are this big and powerful 20 volt. Makita has them as well, however we have the DeWalt. And these small Makita ones, small and weaker. Why have we moved over to these? These are way too big and chunky for interior, especially this. Which one is it? It is the DCD 996. This one is still okay, however if you're not used to this and you're working on furniture, you're going to destroy so many planks of wood, plywood and screws because you're just going to drill through everything. So you need to get used to this. These are super nice because they can get into tiny corners. Look at the different size here. So yeah, we use them both. However, we've downgraded to these smaller ones to get in smaller corners, hold with one hand while we're holding a piece of wood with the other, and so on. These we still use, however, we're going to use them mainly outside on bigger pieces of wood. What I've done with the windows is I removed the old seal, as this of course is planks and it's kind of made like we built the boat. So there were a few gaps left on the thinner seal, so I've added a thicker seal, placed it all the way around, a bit lower than the actual frame of the windows, so water that comes here doesn't drop inside. Also, it's just done with super glue because our plan is to just tighten it, and once it's tight, it's tight. If anything, once it's shut, we might put a little thin layer of Sikaflex on top, which will not glue it shut, but will just leave a little seal. So all I need to do now is go inside and tighten this, because I don't know if you can see behind me, the clouds are getting very grey. In fact, it's actually just started dripping down. Had to leave a few times to go and take care of some filming that's going on in the boat. It's back and forth and back and forth. But also the little trail that I took out, the little bronze rail here, come out already, needs to be put in still, but for the rest this is practically done. But these only need some TLC now, a bit of sanding, a bit of varnishing, a compressor and some wipes over the window, and take the stickers off. So, I'm not talking much because it's just so hot and I want this to be over and done with. It's unbearable. From the outside. I'll screw it from the inside so then you can see how the cushiony bit works from the outside, which is quite cool. Yeah? Da, 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 da. The windows are practically ready, but they look like a mess. So a bit of sanding. I've already added some filling compound in some of the corners where all the seams were. Just gonna sand it all down, put a nice layer of varnish on, PU varnish, polyurethane varnish, and then these should be ready. Oh, don't judge our choice of lights. This is not permanent. This is just so we can be wiring the boat and also just be like taking stuff off, putting stuff on, and this is literally glued to the roof and it's just some 24 volt thingies. Soon this is going to look beautiful, but now it's nice that we just have switches and lights and we can test it and have light. And hang in there because soon we're going to test this window. Are you going to test it as well? He said yes. What's the conclusion about this small window?
Ouch.
And that is why we're making this one. This is as good as you're going to get it. What do I have to say about this window? It looks escapable, nice and shiny right now. Also openable, closable, and waterproof. I think that is ticking the list on everything that we needed. It needs to go through a few nights of rain and days of rain for it to be tested properly, and I'm pretty sure these do not tighten anymore. This is pretty much a finished product. Before we escape through this, I would like to thank you, Kevin, for joining us on Patreon, and John for supporting us through PayPal. Let's get to this. The dog, quick, there's a fire, you have to come out. Quick, go. Pete, quick, 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 quick. Quick, 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 quick.
I still haven't tried this hatch myself, so now is the time of truth. But we cannot finish this episode without thanking the super thanks that we got from Joseph, Dwayne, Jens, Lauro, Wiley, Greg, and Dean. Thank you so much, guys. I managed to escape. Caio did too. So we're all good. See you all next Sunday.
Thanks for mentioning me.
Ben is also out. Bye.